All right, so we're going to start off on our backs and have your block or ball handy. And we'll start off first with some diaphragmatic breathing. When we're doing core work, especially, it can be helpful to have that breath work integrated. Starting off with the knees bent and the feet flat on the floor. And let's take a minute to just traction the lower back. If you press into your feet and just lift the hips, maybe a quarter of an inch, and slide your tailbone down and then lower it. And that might give you a little bit more space in between the vertebrae of the lower back and tailbone. Now let's just rest the hands on the belly. As you breathe in, let the belly inflate like a balloon. And then as you exhale, the belly deflates. Let's breathe in for a count of 4. Hold for 4. Exhale for a count of 4. Hold the breath out for 4. And repeat that for a few rounds. And so this not only is it allowing us to ground here in this moment, but we're also warming up the muscles of the core that we're going to be working. Breathing in and out through the nose. And just one more round of breath. Or one more round of this particular breath. You're going to continue breathing. And now taking the ball or the block that you're using, lifting the hips and sliding it under the tailbone. So not on the lower back, not on the arch. And the ball is going to require a little bit more of engagement with the stability muscles. But first, we're just going to pause here in a supported bridge pose. And if you like, you can begin to lift one leg and maybe the other leg up. So again, if you've got the ball, you're going to be challenged to work those stabilizing muscles. If you've got the block, then you're getting this nice inversion. And let's just take a few breaths, focusing on the sensation of a lightness in the legs as this inversion facilitates the blood flow and the lymph flow back to the heart. And now the right leg, you're going to press the heel up towards the ceiling. The right leg is very engaged. And then slowly begin to lower the left leg. Now, if this begins to bother the lower back, you just lift it up. And you want to avoid that range. And now as the leg's coming up, draw the belly button back to the spine. And the slower you go, you'll notice the less you're able to use momentum and the more of the muscles you need to use. And you'll just switch to the other side. Using the opposite leg, so the leg that's extended up to the ceiling, that's your anchor. So you want to flex it and activate the muscles along that leg. And then continue to breathe. A lot of times when we do these core movements, there's a tendency to hold the breath. And then just finish off an equal amount on both sides. Bend the knees, draw them in towards you. Take a little hug, stretching out that lower back. And then release the legs on the mat. Remove the prop from underneath the tailbone. Lower the hips down. Draw the right knee in towards you. Extend the left leg long. And then think about relaxing the lower back. Allow the muscles of the lower back to release into the mat. Now you're welcome to stay here with that left leg on the ground or begin to lift it off the floor. And you're slowly rising it up towards the ceiling. And just notice where you feel the muscles engage. And then you lower it down. And then I invite you to pause where it feels right for you. And maybe that's the most challenging area. Maybe it's an area that feels like a nice stretch. So just tune in with your intuition and hover. So this hovering, this lingering, this may be the most challenging part of the up and down of the leg. And then just release it all the way down. Nice. When you're ready, let's switch sides. So you're hugging the left leg. The right leg extends. Take a few breaths to intentionally relax the back. Relax the muscles around that right hip area. And then prepare to activate the leg lifting up. And you may find that the two legs have different areas where they feel the most challenging. And then you're going to choose your spot to hover. Remember to breathe. When you're ready, release all the way to the mat. Enjoy a couple of breaths. And then draw the right knee in to meet the left. Let's make some circles with the hips. Again, as we get that sort of creakiness in the morning, it can be nice to just gently begin to warm up the joints, get things moving. And now next time the knees are apart and away from you, pause here. Now this could be another nice way to traction the lower back. So you let, if it feels good, you let the lower back arch. And you're pressing the knees into the hands and the hands into the knees. Then come into your happy baby where maybe you're grabbing the inside of the knees or maybe the ankles. Tailbone stays on the ground. And so that might mean you have to slide your hands down. But again, we want to traction the lower back. So you want to keep it on the ground. And then maybe you gently rock from side to side. A nice massage across the lower back. And then release the feet to the mat. Ball or block comes between the thighs. Feet come off the ground. They're 90 degrees. The shins are 90 degrees from the thighs. Again, find that sweet spot with the knees where you feel the lower belly engage. but you're not arching the lower back. So just depending on tightness and your anatomy, you may need to have the knees right over the hips, or maybe you can take them a little further forward. Hands come behind the head. Inhale up just about a half an inch. This is home base. Squeeze the block. Lift again, squeeze, lift again, squeeze, lower to home base. 2 more times. Lift, squeeze, lift, squeeze, home base. Lift, squeeze, lift, squeeze, lift, squeeze. Come all the way down. Leave the legs where they are. Arms come out to the side, palms facing down. Lower the knees towards the left. And then use the bottom leg, use the left leg to press into the ball or prop and feel the core engage. And then the knees come towards the right. Use the bottom leg, press into your prop, and just continue this a few more times, side to side. Looking to challenge the oblique muscles. And again, the slower you do this, the more challenging, the more opportunity for those small stabilizing muscles to kick in. And after you've done both sides an equal amount of time, you'll pause in the center. Just rock on up to seated. Keeping your prop between your thighs. Starting off by having the hands underneath the thighs, floating the feet up. Keep squeezing the block. Maybe you begin to straighten the legs a little bit. Maybe you release the hands. Now just notice you don't you don't have to do the full variation. If when you release the hands, your lower back hurts or you begin to fold, take the hands back behind the thighs. So pressing the hands into the thighs lets you keep the chest lifted. And you decide, you could have just a little bit, you could flirt with removing the hands. And then lower down, remove the ball. Soles of the feet come together for Baddha Konasana. Press into the hands and move the torso towards the heels. Just take a few breaths here. Nice. All right, let's come to table on hands and knees. Fingers spread wide. And so we talked last week about when you look at your hands, the relationship between the shoulders. So when we spin our hands in, the bottom tips of the shoulders broaden. We want them to come together. So it's like you're opening jelly jars. So just notice that hands are on the ground and then spin the hands apart. They don't move, so it's just kind of like you're opening a jelly jar, and then the bottom tips draw towards each other, and that creates more space between the shoulders and the neck. And let's just do a couple of cat and cows here. Relax the neck. Use this to, again, just kind of get any of the stiffness out of the body. And then pause. Use your, if you have a block, that will probably work better than the ball. You're going to have that at the front end of your mat. It's going to be there to support your head. Nice wide-kneed child's pose. And let your forehead rest on the ball. Actually, the ball feels pretty good too because it's kind of sticky. So you can feel it kind of tractioning the fascia on the forehead as you just gently begin to roll your head side to side. And just notice if maybe you're feeling a little opening in the sinuses as you do that. And if you find a spot where you want to linger, so a lot of times like right over the eyebrows, can feel kind of good to just wring out. So if you have the ball and you haven't tried it, you may want to. Even having the ball gently go across the eyelids, and you can decide how much weight, how much pressure. When you're ready, just release that. Slowly roll up and just notice. Notice whatever there is to notice. Did anyone notice anything with that, the rollout?
Feels really good.
Oh, good, 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 good. All right, so let's come back to our table. Now, if you're having uncomfortable sinuses, you may want to skip the downward dog if that doesn't feel good. Doing that now. But let's take the ball between our thighs. So we're not going to hold the dog very long. Once again, have your hands on the jelly jars and you spin them out so that the bottom tips of the shoulders come towards each other. Toes are curled under, and then float your hips up. Now, your knees are bent, and see if you can look between your feet and just check the alignment, making sure that the knees are going straight back. And let's just straighten out that left leg. So press the left heel to the ground. Feel that hamstring. And then switch sides. So sometimes lengthening out the hamstrings can activate a nice release in the lower back also. And then come into your full dog. All right, so if you're looking for heat and strengthening, you could flow from here to a plank pose, squeezing the ball or block between you, and then you press back. You could hold your dog, you could take a child's pose. So again, just notice what your body's up for this morning. And if you're coming into the plank, make sure you slide the shoulders away from the ears as you get there. Just one more round. We'll meet up in down dog. Walk the hands back to the feet. Here's our little seaweed opportunity. Let the torso flow, maybe even visualize seaweed in the water, just gently flowing, going with the flow of the ocean. Allowing the lower back to find space. And now hands come to the hips. Knees have a gentle bend in them. Use the core to rise on up. Pause once you come to standing. Corner. And allow the hips to open, allow the lower back to find its curve. Think about growing a little dinosaur tail hair. Again, creating space in between the vertebrae. Now inhale, the arms reach up, gentle back bend. And then rotate the left palm up to the ceiling, grab the wrist, and then stretch to the right. See if you can roll the left shoulder back a little bit, maybe peek up underneath the arm. Inhale to the center. Let's switch sides. And back to the center. Release the arms, just roll out the shoulders. All right, so before we add weights, let's just come into a couple of flowing chair poses. So let the hips sink back. You want to keep the core engaged, the tailbone is long, arms come forward. And then you stand up. So we're just going to do this a few times and just getting the muscles in the joints warmed up before we add weights. Nice. Pause in your chair pose. Maybe lift the heels. And then inhale, rise all the way up. Bend the elbows, draw them in towards the ribs, and then reach them up. Exhale, release the arms down. All right, so let's grab your weights. And you may want to start with the lighter weights if you've got options. And then you can always add the heavier ones if it feels like you want more. So we're going to have the cans facing up. Come into your chair pose. And then we're just going to do a couple of gentle bicep curls. Have the shoulders relaxing down the back, arms bend and straighten. Bend. This time when they straighten, straighten the legs. Bend the knees, bend the arms. We'll do this for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, pause on 1, keep the flexion, and then just teeny little pulses. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to large range of motion. Straighten and stand. Bend and sit. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release that and just roll out the shoulders. So I want to just check in. How is the description and stuff? Is it okay? Okay,
Yeah.
great. All right, so let's come to the front of your mat, keeping your weights. We're gonna draw back the right leg, and if you can, you're on the ball of the foot. Let your arms come to your sides. We're going to be working on triceps. Now, can you take your body forward a little bit here? Then you're going to bend the elbows and extend. You bend and extend. So if you're not feeling this in the triceps, if you're feeling it in the biceps, move the arms back a little bit. So if they're in the front, you're going to feel this in the biceps. Let's just do 4, 3, 2, pause on 1, and then tiny little pulses for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Large range. Bend, extend. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pause here. Shift the weight to the front foot. Float up. And then tiny little pulses towards the ceiling for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release down. Nice. Any questions before we go to the other side?
Yeah, that very last repetition, I wasn't exactly sure what you were doing.
The last one, you weren't sure what I was doing in the repetition?
Yep. What?
Okay.
You're
So, so I'll come up close. So first we're here. And so it's
yeah.
a tricep.
Yep.
This one here. And then the pulse was here.
Yep.
And then, you mean this one here when you're in Warrior 3?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're just pulsing up the
Okay.
whole arm.
Okay. Got it.
Okay.
I didn't think I could do it.
What's that?
I can't do the Warrior 3, but I did it in my own way.
Well, yeah, so yes, I guess I should have mentioned if the leg's not coming up, then you just do the arms, just the press with the leg on the ground. All right, let's do the other side. So the right leg goes back. We're in our crescent lunge. Then you're going to tip the torso. So this is going to engage the core a little bit by tipping forward. Elbows bend and extend. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then tiny movements here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep the arms extended. Shift the weight to the front leg. So that back leg, you could keep it as a kickstand or it could float up. And then you just press the arms up to the ceiling. The palms are facing towards one another. Just 4, 3, 2, 1, and release down. Let's just lower the cans for a moment and stretch out the triceps. Inhale, reach up, bend the right elbow. Take the left hand on the right elbow, and then we're gonna arch towards the left. So getting a nice side stretch, maybe a little stretch for the backs of the arms. Come back up to the center. You're gonna switch. Right hand, left elbow, a gentle arching. Come back to the center. Release the arms. Just roll them out. So we held our legs in flexion for a while. So as a way to counter that, we'll do those RDLs that we spoke about. So this one, you could try doing your heavier weight. We're gonna have the weight in the left hand. And this is a little bit of a balance. So if you can get near a wall or a piece of furniture, I'm going to demonstrate with just the couch here. So you'll flex forward and maybe you rest your hand on the couch. And then you come up and we'll do 8 on each side. So the weight's in the opposite hand of the leg that's lifting. So on the exhale, you release down, try to keep the hips level, and then you rise up. For 7, 6, squeeze the glute as you get up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. we'll switch sides. Weight in the right hand. Left leg extends. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, let's take the cans down, but have them within reach. We'll come into a couple of warrior 2 poses. Actually, I think, yeah, the lightweights you can have on your hands, in your hands. We'll begin by stepping the right leg back for warrior 2. So hips open to the sides, and then arms come out to the sides, palms face up. Bend the elbows, you've got those goddess arms, and then extend. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, pause with elbows bent, little pulsations. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Full range, open, and then this time we're going to straighten the legs when we straighten the arms. For 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Extend the arms out and just little pulses to the ceiling. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause, even smaller. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. A little larger. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the arms down. Let's just switch to the other side. Any questions on that before we do the other side?
It really helps when you say which way the palms are, up or down.
Oh,
or
great. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, arms out, palms up. And you bend the elbows and extend. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold with the elbows bent. Tiny pulses here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to large range for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause with the arms extended, palms press up for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then tiny. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and big. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Roll out the shoulders. How's everyone doing with weights? You up for a little more, or you want to go to regular? Just some
I'm
flow.
up, I'm up for whatever.
What was that, Dee Dee? One more. Oh, weights. Okay. Doing sign language here. All right, so let's come into sumo. So sumo, you have the feet turned out and you sit back, core is engaged, and let's let the arms come down. I'm gonna do a sideways view here. And the elbows bend and you pull up and extend. So you're drawing your shoulder blades together and then you extend. For 8, palms are facing towards each other. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, pause with the elbows bent, teeny pulses. 8, 7, relax the neck. 4, 3, 2, 1, large range for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Sit back, rise up, just take a little break here. And then let's do some flies. So come back into your squat if your legs are willing. Arms come out to the side, elbows bend. So try to keep the elbows up to shoulder height. Palms face each other. You bring the elbows in and back. In and back. 8. So palms face your face. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, pause here. And now just little pulses up for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And flies. Open 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. All right, let's release the cans down. And we'll take a little sequence just to flush all that out. And we'll do some forearm planks. Inhale, reach up, gentle back bend. Exhale, fold halfway. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Hands come to the ground. We'll step back to plank pose. All right, so we spent a little time on our chaturangas last week. You can drop your knees for this. But the thing with the chaturangas, legs, if the legs are up, really press through the heels so you're activating the glutes. Slide forward. If you don't slide forward, then you kind of hit the bone on bone. Slide forward, core is engaged, lower halfway. And then come into an up dog if that feels all right on the back, on the back. Slide the shoulders down the back of the body. And then can you press into the tops of your feet and roll over the toes? And that takes some doing because for many people, the tops of the feet are quite tight. And then just pedal out the legs. Find stillness. Think about lengthening the legs, lengthening the lower back. And if that's not happening, there's a lot of weight on the shoulders and it makes it hard to find relief in the lower back. Bend your knees so you can get a nice stretch to the lower back here. And now come down to table and into your Sphinx pose. And in your Sphinx pose, take a moment to just let the hips gently flow from side to side. Sometimes that can create a little bit of relief on the lower back. And now once you're here, you can stay here. This would be a really nice release for the lower back. Or toes turn under, and you can come into a variation of forearm plank. Maybe the knees stay on the ground, or maybe the legs come all the way up. Yeah, and just notice where your gaze is. Make sure you're not compressing the neck here. Yeah, Dee Dee, that looks great. Really nice. From your angle, Nan, that looks great. I can't really tell from you, Laura or Janet. Laurel. Couple more breaths. And then let's release down. Come all the way down. Arms extend long beyond the mat. Root down to the hip bones. Forehead's on the mat. Float the right leg off the mat. Now, can you float the right hip? So you're lifting from the hip and then the leg extends. Add the opposite arm. Now imagine you have a gentle tug on the left wrist and the right ankle. And you're pressing into the right hand and the left leg. That's your anchor. And then you lower down. Setting up for the other side. Float the left leg up. You might find that if you press into the right leg a little more, that allows the left leg to rise with a little less effort. And then press into the left hand and let the right arm rise. Imagine someone's gently tractioning the wrist and ankle. And then you lower down. And let's just flow side to side. Right leg, left arm. Lower down. Inhale, switch. Lower down. So 2 more times each side with your breath. Just be very mindful of that lower back. If you feel any compression, then go lower. You'll still get a lot out of this. And then after you've finished, make a pillow with your hands. Forehead rests on them. You can do another little sinus release by rolling out your forehead. Knees bend and the legs flow side to side. Release the legs down. Come into your Sphinx. Right. So option, stay here. You can take one of those forearm plank options, or you could do, I'll demonstrate it. It's like a dolphin flow, where you come into a forearm downward dog, and then you slide your chin forward, and then you press back. You slide forward, press back. And you just continue doing the forearm option of your choice. I'll cue you when we're winding down. Nice, Dee Dee, that looks great. Nice plank, Nan. Can you smile? Nice. All right, just one more breath and we'll meet up. Arms and legs extended. And let's repeat what we did. Right leg, left arm. Make sure you're using the opposite limbs to root and ground you. Lower down, left leg, right arm. And just flow. Noticing if maybe one side has more strength or more flexibility. It can be quite fascinating to notice the difference in the two sides of the body. And just finish off an equal amount on both sides. And come to that windshield wiping release. Release the legs down. Hands come underneath the shoulders. Press back through table into downward dog. I'm going to offer another round of core practices. Feel free to stay in downward dog or even take a child's pose. This is a lot more than we usually do, especially with the wrists. So mind the body. When you're ready, the right leg extends straight back. The hips are level. Then you just bend the right knee. Now you open up the right hip. Get a nice stretch on the front of the hip. Keep pressing into the right arm so that the right shoulder doesn't lift up. Level off the right hip. Bring the right knee into the ribs as the shoulders come over the wrists. You could do this from table also. And then extend it back. Right knee across the body to the left elbow. Extend it back. Right knee, right elbow. Extend it back. Right knee back to the rib cage. Hover and then pigeon. You may want to curl the left toes under, lift the left knee and just extend. Be nice to do a little pulsation here. And then maybe gently rocking from the left to the right. And just sort of greasing the joints with this gentle movement. Stay upright or drop down. You could also use a block for the sinuses. Another breath. Begin to transition upright if you're not already. Back to downward dog. Enjoy some pedaling out motions. Left leg lifts. Bends the knee. Then open up the hip as you press into the left hand so that that shoulder doesn't pop up. And then level off the hip. Bring it into the rib cage. Now, the more you press into the arms, you're going to activate the core. And then extend back. And then take that left knee across the body to the right elbow. Extend back. Left knee, left elbow. Extend back. Back to the center. And into half pigeon. Toes curl under, a little bit of pulsing. Greasing the joints. Maybe a little undulation side to side. Just trying to coax the body into releasing holding patterns. And stay upright or drop down. Begin to transition into your downward dog. Take your time. Release the knees down. Let's come to seated. You're going to gently make your way down onto your backs. Knees are bent. Flat on the floor. A little bit of one-legged bridge poses. So arms are along your sides, palms facing down. And press into the feet, let the hips rise. We've got a bridge pose. Shift the weight to the left foot. Lower down. And lift up, pressing just into the left foot. Just 3 times, and then we're going to switch to the right side. You're just pressing into the right foot. Do you feel the right glute, maybe the hamstring working? All right, now press equally into both. Rise up into your bridge. You can stick with what we just did, or you could extend the right leg up to the ceiling and lower and lift 3 times. After 3, lower the right leg and switch. Pulse 3 times. Nice. Lower the left. The right leg this time, maybe you extend it straight ahead. And lower and lift 3 times. And switch. And 3 times. Lower both legs down. Enjoy your bridge pose. Maybe roll the shoulders underneath, get a little bit more of a opening in the spine. And release down. Draw the right leg in, extend the right leg up towards the ceiling. Press the back of the right thigh into the hands and the hands into the thigh. Now, if you've got a strap, you could take it just in front of the heel. Extend the left leg. Ties in the right hand. Let that right leg come out to the right. Inhale back through center. Take that leg across the body, the tie's in the left hand. Maybe use your right hand to create a little space by sliding that right hip away from the ribs. Right arm extends out. And now that right leg comes back up. Bend the knee. Give it a few hugs. Or a few rounds of breath while you're hugging. And now with the bent knee, let that come across the body. And you could have the ball there to rest the knee on, or you could use a block. Try breathing in for 4 and holding and releasing the exhale, just as we did in the beginning. Inflating the belly. It brings you back to center. You hug the knee. Enjoy a few breaths here. Intentionally relaxing the lower back. And then can you relax the shoulders? So you may need to shift your hands from the shin to behind the thigh. You might need to let that right knee come to the side of the body so that the shoulders can be a little more relaxed. Can you relax the muscles of the face? And then come back to the center. Extend the right leg long, arms stretch overhead. Nice full body stretch. And then the left leg comes in, clasping behind the thigh. The left leg extends up to the ceiling. And you press hand to thigh, thigh, and to hand. You can take that tie, place it just in front of the heel. The tie in the left hand, release that left leg out to the left. And then you'll back to center, switch the tie into the right hand. Let that left leg come across the body to the right side. At the inhale, take you back to center. You bend the knee, you hug it. And then take it across the body. Now back to the center. Be clasping behind the thigh. The intention of relaxing the back of the body. Relax the lower back. Let it sink into the floor. Then notice the mid back. You need to shimmy a little bit to get the mid back relaxed. And then with the upper back and shoulders, sometimes it's helpful to let that knee come to the left side of the body so that the shoulders can share some of the load with the floor. And then come back to center, extend the leg long, arms extend overhead. Nice full body stretch. And then notice if there's any final poses that you'd like to take or movements before Shavasana. Some layers of clothing on. Feel free to use whatever props would allow you to surrender into your Shavasana. Allow your next breath to be a little bit longer and a little bit deeper. By gentle movements, maybe wiggling fingers or toes, just shimmying your ankles from side to side. When you're ready, you can slowly make your way onto your right side. Enjoy a pause, a moment of gratitude for your body and all that it does for you. When you're ready to come to seated, slowly transitioning up, maybe with your eyes closed. If you'd like to join me in a chant of Om, take a deep breath in. Om. Namaste. Thanks for joining me.